Hey everybody, you could really help out the podcast by going to jmohr.com, clicking the Amazon link, and buying whatever you want. Tweet what you bought, and I will talk about it on the show. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you helping us out.
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game change.
Donuts.
I want to work with you a lot.
Oh, yeah!
Yes, Fake Mustache Studios. Jim Norton on the Fake Mustache Studios tour.
Yes.
Came from Jim and Eddie's.
And now I'm here. I appreciate you coming out and doing this, too. It's late. Thank you.
You're my boo.
Thank you.
You're my baby boo forever.
That's nice.
You texted me about a month ago saying, I'm coming to LA and I want to do your podcast. And I got all giddy because you got to chase people around.
Yeah.
And you got to coordinate everything. And it was just so nice, like an old friend reaching out going, hey, I'm going to be in town. Let's do it. I got all excited. So thank you.
It's always weird to ask friends for things, too. It's like you never want to. Like, I never like to ask people for shit, but it was like I'm promoting, so it's like I hope you have me out. You know what I mean? It's like it's always embarrassing to ask people for shit, and I hate doing that.
It is weird. Why is it weird? Is it because you saddle them with that? Because it is the fine line. Like if it's like with, Fitzsimmons, I just did his podcast, and he said like asking Howard to write the foreword to his book. Like all of a sudden you become the pain in the ass. To
right.
This like someone has to remind, hey, don't forget about Greg's foreword.
Right.
Like asking anybody a favor. Like I always say, just tell me no or don't respond to this.
Right.
And that'll be the no.
Yeah, because we're all low self-esteem idiots, comedians especially, and there's just something about it. It's like we learn how to be vulnerable and mean on stage, but when you're asking somebody for something, you're really asking, and there's no way to be mean and fucking conquer it if they say no. It's just embarrassing. There's no way to win. Could you do that? No. Ugh. All right. And then you just fucking slink away, embarrassed and rejected.
Your special is on Epics?
Yeah, at EpicsHD.com. It's actually a really cool network. I mean, they're you worked with them before. They're good.
Everything's new now. Like right now, Kevin Smith's the one that told me about podcasting, and I said, so this is like the future? And he goes, no, JJ, it's right fucking now. Like
right.
We are all on the ground floor of an elevator going straight up. Like all people, like everybody else in the business is going to be like Roger Paul booking bowling alleys in Staten Island going, what happened to the business?
Right. Well, radio has ruined itself. Satellite still has a good foothold, but it's like even that, I mean, you know, podcasts are the fucking way to go because, you know, you just go and grab what you want. You don't have to worry about the fucking receiver going out. You don't have to worry about the signal being strong. You know, you just go and get what you want.
And those fucking a-holes in management.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with those. I'm glad we keep the language from getting too rough. I like it.
What's the name of your special?
Please Be Offended.
Oh, that's why you keep tweeting the words "Please be offended."
Yeah. It's a desperate and vain attempt to get it to catch on.
Please Be Offended is a good title.
I didn't know what to call it. And it's not a statement about me thinking I'm so. There's nothing worse than some fucking jizzbag who thinks he's a maverick, just doing mediocre concepts. But it's more about people just being very hypersensitive.
You know, you said something interesting that you're a jizzbag.
Yeah, it's a great word.
But like when Attell was here, I'm always amazed at the guys that what they say, guys like you and like Dave, like your guys, the words you say I really covet. And if you think you suck, like we're all in trouble. Because you're the guy we all think is terrific.
Well, thank you. But no, I really, it's funny. I was thinking, like, I feel like an abject failure. And I'm not saying
How is that possible?
You
silly goose?
It's the irrational thinking that.
It's because you're a silly goose?
Yeah, and basically, I'm kind of a silly goose.
There you go, buddy. Paging Dr. Norton.
But yeah, I fucking, this is the absolute truth. I shot the special. I had built up to it. Ozzy's in the beginning of it. It's one of the highlights of my life. I shot a scene in his house. And after the special was shot in Cleveland, I was in my fucking room and I had my belt and I'm like, I should just hang myself. I was literally so depressed.
Why?
I just wasn't happy with it. Like, you know, and it's like, and I say this after because I'm fine now, but I was so fucking miserable.
Was it specific things in the set that you thought you fucked up, or
the first show, the lighting wasn't what I wanted, but what I didn't realize at the time.
What is it, fucking La Cage aux Folles? It's fucking stand up.
But I didn't want to
spotlight, you goose.
I didn't want a well lit audience. I wanted it to be fucking pitch black.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize the director told me, well, the stage is lit the same, so we can still cut between the shows. And you know how it is, man. You shoot something, you're like, fuck, that stunk. And then a week later you watch it, it's like, wow, that came out really good. But in that moment, I watched 3 minutes of my fucking fat head on one of the close-ups. And I'm like, oh, you fucking pig. I was really, really overtired and just manic, and it was over, and I just wanted to hang myself. And I came out the next day and edited it. And in the editing process, I was like, okay, it came out the way I was fine with how it came out. I like it.
If you were going to kill yourself, do you think hanging's the way you would do it?
I absolutely do.
Because eat a bullet is the famous Jimmy Norton catchphase.
Yeah, I finally got JimNorton.com too. Finally, the Cyber Squatter hopefully fucking...
There's always some fucking Chinese kid in Chicago that owns all of our domains. You fucking prick. Give it up, you stupid ape.
I don't know how I got it, but I got the name for a couple grand. It would be hanging because that's the one you can always bail yourself out of. And you can kind of do it like you can kneel there.
Oh, you mean like if you change your mind?
Yeah, you can't... Well, you don't hang yourself like from a fucking chair, because we all saw Sopranos fucking season 6 when fucking, was Bobby Cheech, his name was, hung himself, and he's trying to stop it and he can't. So I would do it with a fucking belt. I would kneel with a belt and fucking lean forward, because I know I could always undo it if I wanted to.
Well, I think that's what Michael Hitchens from INXS thought when he was pounding his dick, hanging himself. He goes, I could always get out of it if I feel like it.
I guess that's a good
Like
point.
one load and one death later, we're fucking looking at his gravestone in Sydney.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. No one who dies of autoerotic asphyxiation fucking plans on it. You just want to fucking, you always see a clean sock next to them. They're like,
oops.
Yeah.
Famous last words.
Yeah, this didn't go as planned.
This will go just a little tighter, I wonder how many people like jump off of buildings and on the way down are like, fuck, I'm gonna miss TV.
Yeah.
TV. I bet it's like a weird thing that like, not your kids, not you're like, wow, just fucking Montel in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna miss the most.
Something, O&A, I was not in the day they interviewed him, but the guy that, in the documentary, The Bridge, he jumped. There's one guy who jumped and lived.
The Golden Gate Bridge documentary that I love.
Where they show all the fucking saddest IMDb page probably. It would have been funny if I said IMDb, but I just bailed out and said IMD because I'm a non-showbiz idiot.
No one caught it.
But
you jizz bag.
The one
I picture an old lady shaking. You jizz bag.
She's shaking
Sunday driver, shaking her fist.
But he jumped and he lived, and he said as soon as he left the bridge, he regretted it. As soon as his feet cleared, he's like, why? And he lived and he told the story. But I've always remembered that guy, even though I wasn't there for the interview, because that's to me what just probably happens to a lot of people who go to do it, is that it's undoable.
That's what's great about a bullet, is it's over simultaneously.
Hopefully, yeah. You hope so. Because a lot of people, there's always other people who live through it because they jerk their hand at the last second. That's why, that shotgun guy that tried to do it from the priest, when you see his fucking face blown apart. Oh, years ago, Judas Priest fan, one of those guys, he lived. He blew his fucking face out with a shotgun and lived and looked like a real horse's patoot. To quote Colonel Potter.
How about, like Bud Dwyer did it right.
Yeah.
And he told everybody to get back. Like, come on, someone's gonna get hurt. Like, he was afraid for other people's safety.
Yeah.
And he opened up like a brown paper bag of dough.
Yeah.
And was like, here's your advance.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody getting screwed over at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Here's your $100, Jimmy.
Here's your bonus, and here's the bulging manila envelope you were all wondering about.
Yeah, and then people came towards the podium and he goes, get back, somebody's gonna get hurt.
Yep.
But that guy, that was an actual lights out situation.
But you don't know if he was feeling it at all when he was just sitting there. And because I've watched so many of those horrible videos that...
You've watched beheadings.
Many.
You and Anthony.
Anthony can't watch them.
Oh, he can't watch them?
No.
Anthony of the Opie and Anthony program with little Jimmy on third mic.
Thank you. Yeah, he gets very, very ill. Opie can't watch them.
Anthony doesn't like snot.
He hates snot.
It's the weirdest thing. Like, if you send them if you're listening to this, go to Anthony Cumia's Twitter page and just send him a lot of photos of snot.
Yeah, blood boogers. He hates them.
Blood boogers, snot, little kids with pasty, snotty faces. Your own children, your beautiful kids with snotty faces. Just send those to Anthony Cumia.
He can't handle it. He can't fucking handle it.
It's amazing.
And the beheadings, none of them can. I got them to watch in studio a Mexican cartel chainsaw a murder. It was one guy that killed two soldiers with a chainsaw. Well, no, one he cut his throat, one with a chainsaw. And amazing, the chainsaw. These guys were dying by chainsaw, and they just took it. Like, there's some tough fucking dudes.
How do you? I mean, you really can't turn down if he asks you to film it. You can't be the guy to turn him down.
No, because you know he needs you. He's not gonna chop your arm off. You're holding the iPhone. He's got to fucking.
Hey, look, I'm gonna go kill these guys with a chainsaw, and I need you to film it.
Be happy to. Be happy to.
Whatever you need, pal.
Yeah,
you got it.
I'll even upload it for you because that gives you life after.
Okay, Ralph. So yeah, people do shoot themselves in the face and fuck it up. That you really are one of that would make you feel worse. I had a friend of mine took antidepressants and they stopped because they said reaching for the antidepressant in the morning made them more depressed than they were when they got prescribed it. And that actually made sense to me. If you shoot yourself in the face because you don't want to live anymore and you fucking live and you walk around with that fucking horse's patoot face, what a fucking asshole. Hey, what happened to your face? Did you just get back from the Gulf? Nope.
Yeah. You ever hear another thing coming? Well, yeah, this fucking asshole for the rest of his life had to talk and dab it with a fucking napkin. No, and he died eventually. I forget of what.
Of embarrassment.
Yeah, probably.
Fucking jerk. Of fucking douchebaggery. And then the first recorded douchebaggery, I think a hot air balloon death. When they had a hot air balloon race in like the 1800s, one of those guys died of douchebaggery. And then right after that, stupid Judas Priest fan. Or Amy Fisher is more diabolical than we think because she shot Mary Jo Botafuco in the face. Yeah. And somehow Mary Jo Botafuco just walking around like paying the toll on the fucking parkway, driving a car, going to the Staten Island Mall. Okay, you want the usual Mary Jo? And she says, yeah, that'd be great. Like, weren't you just shot in the fucking face a decade ago?
Yeah.
Holy shit, you lucky horseshoe rabbit's foot broad.
It's amazing how they all got together. They're doing these weird reality show things like fun boxing matches and, fucking bowling with Mary Jo or whatever it is. They're celebrities. It's fucking great.
Oh my God.
She came to one of my shows, Mary Jo.
Mary Jo Botafuco went to one of your shows?
Yeah.
Is that the strangest celebrity that ever went to one of your shows?
No.
It's hard to top Ozzy.
Ozzy didn't come to the show, though. He just shot the opening.
Oh, he's never been to one of your stand-up shows?
No. I'm very few. Oh, De Niro watched me perform in the Comedy Cellar. He was there with Jeff Ross, but he watched me perform, and I was fucking doing something, and I heard the pumpkin laugh. Like, it was a real laugh
Fear?
Out of the corner, yeah, and it threw me, and I tripped on my next punchline, and of course my fucking awful flip cam wasn't working. I have audio of it somewhere, but it would have worked better on the flip cam. But I heard him laugh, and it jolted me on my next joke.
And did you meet him afterwards? Did you get the photo?
No, I don't have a photo with De Niro. He was the first guy to ever turn me down.
Really?
At Billy Crystal's premiere for 700 Sundays, they said don't bring any cameras, so I brought my camera. And and it's the famous story. I tapped him on the forearm, and I said, Bob, because I really, honest to God, was thinking he's so famous he won't realize that we've never met. And I asked him for a picture, and he goes, no. But he wasn't a twat about it. He goes, if I take one, everybody will ask. I just want to go say hi to Billy. And it was like, I couldn't argue with him. He shook my hand.
Jimmy. You got a little out of line yourself. But what about at the Cellar? You didn't ask him then?
No, I'll tell you why. Because
Tell me why, honey.
I could have. It's a funny story.
Go on.
It was simply because Jeff had him there, and they were possibly doing a project together where he was doing research.
All right, let me just stop you right there. That is the fucking strangest thing I've ever heard. That's weirder than Mary Jo Botafuco bowling on VH1. Yeah. Is that Jeff Ross and De Niro were in cahoots.
Working on a project.
Do a project together.
Yeah, it was the most jealous I've ever been of a fucking
comic. I'm jealous now.
Yeah, I wanted to strangle
posthumously. Jeff Ross should have hung himself with a belt. And we should just, in his casket with that giant fro, with that Muammar Gaddafi outfit.
Yeah, he really is. Fucking makes me sick.
Walter Matthau with a huge hog on him.
I'll always love Jeff because he put me on the Gene Simmons roast. He really did a solid. But because fucking De Niro was there with Jeff, I was like, you know what? Jeff's doing a project, and I wanted De Niro to be comfortable enough to come back and sit at the Cellar again. I thought of the bigger picture. I shouldn't have. I should have been the selfish fucking asshole. because he would have taken the shot.
I like how you look like a celebrity photo. You look at like one of the theaters of war. Like, look, I don't want to raid Wake Island now because I got to take mainland Japan a couple months from now, and I don't want to spook these guys. So I want De Niro to be comfortable coming back to the cellar to see me. Well, that's the undercurrent of everything.
Of course it is. I want to get to know Bob.
Yeah.
But I was afraid. I figured he would do it, but I didn't want to spook him there. I just didn't want, and because Jeff brought him down, I didn't want to fucking embarrass Jeff. Which really rare with a celebrity of that magnitude. But Jeff's a good friend. I'm like, I can't make it.
We love Jeff.
Yeah, I couldn't do it to him. Not that he would have given a fuck.
The best Cellar story I ever heard was Bobby Kelly with Seinfeld.
Oh God!
When he goes, you probably remember. Will you remember it better than me?
I just know that fucking Jerry was ready to go on, and fucking blithering Bob is on the top step.
You know what, dude? You got your coffee. You hang out with Seinfeld.
Dude, you got friends, dude. You gratitude. Boom. So what? You don't rise to the top. Bobby was like in the middle of the steps, and Jerry looked up at him and said, "All right, I'm just gonna go on. I'll be up in a couple of minutes." And Bobby goes,